आ रहा है ना, ठीक है, थैंक यू, ऑन कर दिया, ठीक है। गुड इवनिंग स्टूडेंट्स।
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
So we had a break. I hope you all are continuing your studies. Last class we were discussing about inventory management. We had discussed about purchases, then storage, and today we will discuss about we'll discuss about issues like when we receive the materials. Our very important aspect of inventory is how the issues are made. That means issues to consumption, or we will do valuation of issues. At what price the materials are issued to the consumption. So this is a very important aspect. You might have studied in your study notes. You can just see there are different ways of valuation of issues. We will study one by one. There are different methods of pricing. Basic objective is that how to do pricing of issues. Like receipt, we know receipts have got definite price, so there is no confusion. At what price we buy, they are valued at buy cost plus all other associated costs involved till the material is stored. So this is receipt. There is a clear cut valuation of receipts. It is the purchasing cost plus all other costs that we have already discussed. But what about issues? So there will be different methods. Like if I want to do one cost price method, like for example, buying cost was 100 and this was all 10, so I have purchased at the rate of 110. If I purchase at rupees 110 per unit, now I have to charge at 110 only. This is the cost method. So at what price I purchased, same price I am going to issue the items to the product. Now suppose for example in cost price method there are two methods, rather there are three methods. That is FIFO method, first in first out, LIFO method, last in first out, and there is another method called base stock method. There are three methods of charging the methods of pricing of stock as per their cost price. So we will discuss what is FIFO, LIFO and base stock method. FIFO. Somebody can tell me what is the if we expand FIFO, what does it mean?
First
Yes, exactly.
in, first out.
So first in, first out. That means item which has come first to your inventory, we will issue that item first. So that means like different dates items are coming like 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. So I have received 10 units, 110 rupees, 12 units. Suppose I have received at 105 rupees. Now if I am issuing, suppose on this date I am issuing 5 items on 5th. These 5 first I will take from first items, whatever I have received first. So at the rate of 110, this is at this price I am charging. Suppose I am again 7 items I am issuing. Out of the 7 items, see here, my balance, if you see my balance, like this is received, issue, balance. So here issue is nil, my balance is 10 at 110. Now after I give 5, I have 5 units at 55 rupees. Here I have got 12 at 105. This is at the rate of 110. See, after issuing 5, I have got 5 number here and second 12 lot is almost there with me. Now when I am going to issue 7 numbers, first this 5 I will adjust. So here it will be 5 at the rate of 110 and 2 at the rate of 105. That means first which item I have received, I am going to use that rate. Once this 10 is over now, 5 and 5. So remaining now I am going from the 12. This is how, very simple to understand. You just remember we have to charge off at the rate at which first it was purchased. Once that is adjusted, we will go to the next plot. Once this is adjusted, we will see if anything receipt is there or not. This is the concept of FIFO method. There is another method just opposite to this, that is LIFO method. LIFO means, again somebody can tell me what it can be? Same way.
Last in, first out.
Last in, first out. Very good. This is last in, first out. That means I have a storage. I have a storage and whatever entered at the last, like there are so many items. Suppose this is the latest receipt. This I am giving, issuing first. This is a, like suppose you have you have a kitchen, you have got different products, different types of rice you have. So you will be very much sometimes interested to cook with the fresh vegetables. So whatever you have bought today, same thing you are consuming, but the old vegetables you are still keeping in the fridge. So this system is like that. Today I should eat the present market price, but what about my old market price purchase? That I will not be able to consume. So that will be remaining in my stock. So this is, there is a disadvantage of this, that I am only consuming the best or fresh items. Old items I am not consuming. Theoretically, I am losing that stock. So this is not a very good idea of issue. Whereas there is a logic in this, जो पहले आया है उसको पहले खत्म कर दो, नहीं तो खराब हो जाएगा. But not, this is one of the method. FIFO methods का advantages क्या है? Now this is very simple. And what happened? In case of falling prices, the method gives you better results. How it is? Like here you see, we have seen there is a falling price, right? So what you did? You have first charged at 110. Your next lot you are charging at a lesser price. So you get a cost advantage for the next lot. But if the price is increasing, you will have a disadvantage of this. And here, whatever stock remains with you, like I have remaining at the latest market price. The stock whatever is remaining with me after this 7 is issued, like I have got 5 stocks at the rate of 105. So this is in the market price. Here this is opposite. The stock is at the very old price. In LIFO, my stock I am holding very opening price. Recently, whatever I have purchased, I have consumed those prices. So this doesn't give me a market price. Wherever this, in case here, inventory gives me a market price. These are the advantages of FIFO method. What are the disadvantages method? Same thing what I told you, when the prices is going up, this method may not be giving a correct picture. Nowadays, that is why, since this is not giving a scientific method of calculations, it is not very appropriate to use FIFO or LIFO. Why I am telling you? Because when I am issuing when I am keeping in my storage, all items are mixed up. I cannot identify practically which is new item, which is old item. All I have kept in the same rack. So the third option comes here. We should have a weighted average. That we will study in the next few minutes. We will discuss about that. So there are some difficulties in FIFO method, which is tempting us to go for average methods. So after discussing FIFO and LIFO, another thing you may know about, that is called base stock method. In this method, what happens? In this method, always I am holding a particular stock that I am not touching. Okay. So a minimum quantity of stock under this method is always held. Always I am keeping a stock of the minimum stock. Why I am keeping? I am keeping that for meeting my emergency requirements. This may be required for my emergency requirements, so I am not issuing that. The minimum stock is known as the base stock. So in this method, I am first allowing certain stock not to be issued. For example, if I give one example here, you will get in exams also such questions. In base stock method, you have a minimum stock, suppose 5 units. In the same example, 5 units, whatever opening price is there, I am keeping that stock, that I am not going to issue. I will issue only the other stocks. So here what will happen? If you are making FIFO or LIFO, see this is only thing that I am keeping a stock as fixed, then I am applying either FIFO. If I am having a FIFO method, I will maintain accordingly. If I am using LIFO method, I will maintain accordingly. This type of things, when you do a problem, we will be able to understand it very clearly. We will do a problem later on. Okay. Now, sometimes like this is a actual cost method. Sometimes I am not interested in actual cost. I will make a specific cost method. Whatever may be my cost of purchase, I will issue only at a specific cost. That also companies also do. They issue at a differential price, which is not my purchase price, but which I am keeping a specific price for the purpose of issue. That also you will find in specific method price, especially when the for a specific job, like for a contract or for any other specific purpose or for a work order. In that case, these materials are issued subsequently to that specific job only. So I am putting a method of issue there. This is not a standardized method. This is a only it is used only in special items, like I am executing a contract. For that contract, I know my material cost may be suppose 20,000 rupees. So irrespective of my actual buying, I will load a approximate cost. This is my, suppose I might be buying at 25,000 or maybe buying at 18,000, but for the purpose of calculation of the contract, I am charging my material cost as 20,000 rupees. I have pre-estimated some cost at which I am. So this also you can explain. This is not a regular cut method. Here you may incur plus or minus. It is not actual. So in a normal course of business, I should not do this. It is only for a specific job or specific order I am doing. In my normal course of business, I should try to recover my cost, which I am doing in FIFO, LIFO and base method price. Then these three are now become obsolete. These three, nobody generally, none of the companies follow this because it is not giving us a exact cost of purchase. Today, suppose price is 200 rupees per unit, but I am issuing at 105 rupees per unit because long back price was 105 or now prices has come down. So this may not be realistic. That is why we are going for, there is simple average method also. So in average method, you will find your study note, there are some methods of averaging out. Like my three purchases are there. First purchase is 100 rupees, second is 110 rupees, third is 120 rupees. So what I do a very simple average, like 330 divided by 3 is equal to 110 rupees is my simple average price. So I will issue out this price. This is very simple, but it looks very simple, but there are some disadvantages of this, that I am not, this is only price aspect, quantity aspect I am not taking into account. How much quantity I purchased I do not know, so this simple method, average method, may not be correct. Only number of buy I am taking for dividing into number of prices. Now to overcome this, there will be another method, that is called weighted average method. That is more appropriate. Weighted average method. In weighted average method, I am taking price into quantity. I am multiplying the how much quantity I purchased. Like the same price 1, 2, 3. This is 100 rupees. This is 110 rupees. This is 120 rupees. But I purchased here 50 kg. Here 1000 kg. Here 7000 kg. Just see. Now the prices will be different if I am multiplying this. So my total weightage is how much? 7000 plus 1000, 8050 kg I have purchased. What is the cost? 100. 100 into 50 is 5000. 110 into 1000 is
1,10,000.
1,10,000. And 120 into 7000?
8,40,000.
8,40,000. Now you total all the cost, you will find here
9,55,000.
9,55,000. You will get the weighted average price. What is the price? Just divide 955 000.
118.
How much?
118.63.
108.63.
63.
See here, in simple average, I was getting here 110. But now you see it is getting 118. Why it is 118? Because most of the items I purchased near to 120 rupees. So my weighted average, that is total cost I am recovering when I am charging all the 8050 units to my consumption. I am charging them at 118.63. So after these issues, my average price is 118.63. Any issue, anything like 10 kg if I issue also, if I issue 10 kg also at the rate of 118.63, I will be issuing at 1186.30. So this helps me in giving the realistic price considering the weighted average of all the past purchases. So this is more appropriate than simple average. Simple average sometimes may misguide us, because you see here I have a price but I bought only 50 kg in that. So it will not influence much in the total cost. What influence is the quantity. So quantity also is a very important aspect while determining my weighted average method. So now you understand why we should adopt weighted average method. This gives me a realistic picture. So here issue price will be total cost of materials in stock divided by total quantity of materials in stock. Like I have taken the cost divided by quantity. I got this weighted average price. On this price, I am going to issue my materials. There is another method. It's known as moving average. Like we have discussed about average, so there will be another method called moving average. Anything, if you understand moving average, then like moving average means I am making average for a particular period. This for a particular period, like for 2 months, I have a policy that I will calculate the prices of last 2 months for average purpose. So these 2 months will give me one average. Next 2 months I will get another price. So this is how I will take all the purchases here, make the, again it can be divided into two parts, moving simple average, moving weighted average. Same concept. In simple average, just add on only the prices, and in moving weighted average, you take, moving means you are taking a particular period. For that period, what is the movement in the price? So that is the difference. Under this moving average method, the rate is calculated by dividing the total of the periodic weighted average price of a given number by the number of periods. Okay. So that generally you don't get any more problems in this. You may get problems in weighted average. This problem you may get. Good evening. Good evening. So if you see your illustrations, just open your study materials. We can do a small illustrations how the issues are taking place. Wait. You see here illustration 5. Open your book. See the illustration 5. Somebody can read the question, please. Somebody can read the question. Hello.
Prepare a statement.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Continue.
Prepare a statement showing the pricing of issues on the basis of simple average and weighted average method from the following information pertaining to material D. 2016
Right.
March 1.
Like
Purchase
this.
100 units.
Okay. Stop. So this problem is about how to calculate it on the basis of simple average and on the basis of weighted average. So on a particular month of March 2016, dated 1 to 5, 7, 10, 11, 13, some transactions are given. They are related to purchases and issues. Our job is to record them in our stores ledger, calculate based on the the two ways. One is simple average and one is weighted average. Okay. You just see, like the question says, it is on 1st of March it purchased 100 units. I am just noting the question here. 1st March, 100 units at the rate of ₹10. Then 200 units. This is on 2nd. 200 units purchased at the rate of 10.2 each. Then on 5th, there is a issue. $250 units. Just remember there are some purchases and issue they are not given you the price. For issues you have to find out what will be the price. Then 7, purchase 200 units at the rate of 10 rupees 50 paisa. 10, purchases 300 units at the rate of 10 rupee 80 paisa. 13, issues 200 units at the rate of, that you have to find out. 18, issued 200 units. There are different jobs they have mentioned, don't worry about that. 20, purchases at the rate of 100 units. 100 units at the rate of 11 rupees. Then 25, issued 115 units, 50 units. These are the transactions. Now these transactions I am going to record. Suppose this is my my stores ledger account. I have to prepare my stores ledger account. In this stores ledger account, I will record all the transactions of the, this is March 2016. So on March 2016, since I have got very less space, I am writing here dates. Okay. This is the date column. Then I have got 3 columns: receipt, issue, and balance. Like this, you have to make 3 columns: receipts, issues, and balances. These receipts will be again, there will be 3 columns: quantity, then price, then value. Similarly, issue also will have 3 columns. There is a space problem here. I am just displaying you how to do. You make it 3 columns: quantity, price, value. And balance also will have 3 columns: quantity, price, value. You have to make this type of presentations in your examination. If you get a PSL, these are all very simple to do. Only thing that your presentation should be neat and clean. Now you see on, if you see, first is your March 1. What is your 100 units you are buying? So your 100 units has come here. What is the price? 10 rupees. So you have a value of 1000 rupees. There is no issue. So you have a balance of 100 and the value is 1000. Price is 10 rupees. This is clear. First transaction recorded. Now I am putting a line here. My first date transactions is recorded. My second date transactions is March 2nd. March 2nd, again I am receiving. So Only in receipt section I am doing 200 at the rate of 10 rupees 20 paisa. So my total transaction receipt is 2040. There is no issue. Now you see my balance was 100, I received 200, so it becomes 300, and my cost was 1000, I received 2040, it becomes 3040. Okay, this I am doing under simple average method. I will tell you how it is working. You have to under in simple average method. I am making the stock ledger. Now the first issue is on 5th. So ये transaction हो गया. Now on 5th there is a issue of, there is no receipt. There is issue of 250 units. In simple average method, somebody tell me what will be the price at what is the price at what it will be issued. Somebody can tell me?
So 10.10.
10.10. How we got? Just added 10 and 10.2 divided by 2. Very simple. So I got a price which is simple average of my first two purchases. So this is 10.10. Now it becomes my issue price. I can calculate this into this. Like 250 into 10.10 will be 2525. So now my stock was 300. Out of 300, 250 gone. So 50 is there remaining. Now out of 3040, 2525 will go. So my remaining will be 515. This one clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Others please also say me so that I confirm. Very simple.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So now my value I am getting 3040 minus 2525 515. So these three transactions already recorded. Now come to 7. On 7, I am purchasing 200 units. 200 came in at the rate of 10 rupees 50 paisa. 10 rupees 50 paisa. So this is my purchase cost will be how much?
2100.
2100. There is no issue on that day. So my stock increased. 50 was there, 200 came, so it became 250. Plus my cost also increased. It was 515 and 2100 added, so it become 2615. Now in simple average method, this price is not relevant. Okay. 7th is done. Again 10th I am having a procurement. 10th again I am purchasing 300 units. Okay. And rate is 10 rupee 80 paisa. 10 rupee 80 paisa. So my procurement cost is 3240. $250 was there. I got 300. So it becomes 550. 2615 was there. I spent another 3240. Both together 5855. 710 is there. Now 13 is the issue. 13 there is a issue of 200 units. Now you tell me at what price it will be issued. 13 there is a issue of 200 units. At what price it will be issued?
$10.5.
How?
Sir, 10.375.
See, just I am telling you here. I have got stock for 13 March. How many prices are there?
Sir, three prices.
See, just look at here. I have purchased at 10 rupees. That 10 rupees वाला item already exist हो गया है, अभी नहीं है, क्योंकि when I have issued 250, these 100 are gone and only here. So my prices available is 10 rupees 20 paisa. This is one price. This is second price. This is third price. So 10 rupee 20 plus 10 rupee 50 plus 10 rupee 80. There are three prices. These three prices I add on, make the average. 10 rupee 20 paisa, 10 rupee 50 paisa, 10 rupee 80 paisa. Divided by 3 becomes 10 rupee 50 paisa. This is understand. Why I am telling this 10 rupee price is already issued. It is no more with me. I have got only 3 receipt prices from which I am going to issue. So here you remember only these 3 prices I am going to take into account. That you have to carefully mind. Don't take all these 4 items, because now we have got only stock of these 3 items. You have got one is 10 rupee 20 paisa, 2 is 10 rupee 50 paisa, 3 is 10 rupee 80 paisa. This is only price. If it would have been the weighted average, you would have taken the quantity 10 rupee 20, 50 paisa, 50 quantity, 10 rupee 50, 200, and 10 rupee 80, 300. Since it is simple average, I am taking only these 3 prices. If it would have been weighted average, I would have taken this into this into this, and this into this. So this is how I got a issue price of 10 rupees 50 paisa. This is how I have derived here. And at this price, 200 into 10 rupees 50 paisa, 2100 rupees is the issue cost. Now, out of 550, 200 has gone. So I have got 350, and value 5855 minus 2100, 3755. Everybody understood? Please tell me if you
Yes,
understand.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's how you have to use your common sense. Then it will be very simple. Same way you can continue on March 18, 2025. You can see the working note. It is explained in your books how to proceed. I have just given you the way how to do the problem. See here, this was in weighted average. You see, same problem. In weighted average, we are calculating. If you see your study material, the calculation part you just see. Quantity is taken into account. The value is there, like 3040 value is there. That is divided into total quantity. That is 300. So you get a price of 10 rupees 13 paisa. Here also you get 5847. Now this is the basis. You want me to do it, or I can do it? Weighted average. Please try yourself so that you can understand. It's very simple. Just try. If you don't understand, I will definitely help you. You can practice some problems in FIFO, LIFO, and this because these problems it is better you practice. You know the concepts, illustrations you practice. If not, we will do in the classroom. I am not going to do because already it is there in your books. Just practice. I will move on to some new concepts. Like after studying this, there are some other aspects you should also understand. Like valuation of in materials. Almost we are coming to the end. There are some few concepts I will tell you. Valuation of work in progress. What is work in progress? Somebody can tell me? Like you in a, somebody can tell me what do you mean by work in progress? You might have studied in your financial accounting also. How to do valuation of that? Like we are doing some work which is not yet completed, but we need to do the valuation. How much value of the work done to show at cost. It should be valued at cost. Now, what is the cost? Again, it comes at what cost it should be valued. There are different methods. Basically, I will say three methods. One is at prime cost. Second is prime cost plus variable overheads. Third is at total cost. There are three methods of displaying the valuation of work in progress by different companies. Either they can show them at prime cost, because if they say that prime cost is important, they have a policy, they make a policy, we are valuing our work in progress at prime cost. So here direct labor plus direct material plus direct labor plus direct expenses, we are showing them the work in progress at that only. How much direct material, direct labor, direct expenses involved in this work in progress, I am showing that. Some companies they say there are some variable overheads also, they are prime cost plus this, and some others they show the total cost. Whatever the total cost of production till this point, it is to be, everything has got its own merits and demerits. Depending upon the size of the business, you can decide what should be your valuation method. Like this is one important aspect. Second is your wastage. In materials management, wastage is a very important aspect. What do you mean by wastage? There are so many things it can take into account. Can somebody tell me different types of wastage? Like scrap, spoilage, then your breakage, leakage, evaporation. Some chemicals evaporates. Then theft. There are so many theft also. Some materials storage taken from or like eaten by rats. you will find the loss of materials can happen due to so many reasons. So we will divide them into two categories. One is normal loss, second is your abnormal loss. The materials which is lost in normal course of business will be my normal loss. Normal loss means, suppose, for example, certain of items which we generally we cannot avoid. We cannot avoid. This is unavoidable. Like you are bringing some chemicals from a very distant place which is having alcohol, and when you move from one container to another container, some percentage of alcohol loss will take place because it evaporates. So that you cannot avoid. Suppose you buy 100 kgs, you know 2 kgs will be evaporated. So I paid 50,000 rupees for buying 100 kgs. 100 kg material I bought from the buyer. I paid 50,000. How much material I received in my store? I received only 98 kg. So in this case, if I know 2 kg is my normal loss, what I do? I find out that 5,000 rupees is the cost, 50,000 rupees is the cost of 98 kgs only. That means I have discounted this 2 kg in my total quantity directly. So my cost per unit will be 50,000 divided by 98. That you will get my normal cost. So here I am factoring that in my total weightage. That is the normal. This is how I have to calculate. Suppose in a particular month, instead of 2 kg, it becomes 10 kg. That means some mismanagement was there. That 8 kg is your abnormal loss. Your 2 kg, you give normal loss. So this 8 kg I cannot add into my cost. I will find out the cost of this 8 kg. Like 98 kg is 50,000 divided by 98. Can somebody tell me what is the price coming here? 50,000 by 98.
510.2.
100 and
510.2.
okay, just a minute. $510. So 510.20. This is my normal cost per kg. Per kg. Now, if we suppose there is in for that month there is 8 kg loss, how do I account this? I calculate 510 kg, 510 per kg. So 510.20 into 8 kg. That is 4081.63 is my abnormal wastage. I cannot take that into my account. This is my abnormal wastage. I will fix responsible, some person who is responsible for this. I am bearing only 2 kg here. 8 kg cost I am bearing separately as a abnormal loss. This is how we treat the wastage differently, normal and abnormal. Similarly, all items company fix what is the normal loss, what is the abnormal loss. Accordingly, treatment is given in the books of accounts. When you do problems, we will be able to know that. Sometimes what we do, sometimes you see scraps. Like you see, my company is having pipes, and it is I am doing threading of the pipe. You can see in plumbers make threading of the pipe. In course of doing threading, some iron pieces generated, right? Like this, all drops of iron. See, like here, this is the threading machine. When I do this, after this is taken out, you find this area is full of iron scraps. I can also sell those items. This has got also pure iron powders, iron dust. So this scrap can be generate some value. So what I know the prices of this scrap. I can get that also. I can give credit to my total cost. This is how scraps can be sold in the market, and scrap can generate in many ways. This is I gave you one example. Similarly, there are so many other examples also, but this is very small amount. Generally, in normal course we ignore, but in very like if the items are very costly. Like you see a goldsmith. Goldsmith cannot throw the scraps. The gold scraps he will collect and value it, and that also he has to take into account for preparing his cost of jewelry. So this is sometimes it is a very good market value. We have to take into account the proper residual value or proper marketable value. We have to be taken into account how much we recover from the like the main material minus scrap realized. So if my material cost was 50,000 rupees and I am generating suppose scrap of suppose 5,000 rupees, so my cost is reducing. My cost becomes 45,000 rupees. This is how I can reduce my normal cost. Okay. Same in the last example, like 100 kg, you find my cost is coming down because I am taking value of this scrap materials. How the accounting treatment, you will be knowing that just read out. I will not explain it now. You may get confused. When you do problems, we will be understanding that. And this scrap also I can know. Here also I can fix what is my normal, what is my abnormal. Everywhere, based on our experience, everybody fix a normal percentage. Like 2% is the normal loss. Beyond 2%, anything more than 2%, I will say they are abnormal loss. So this is how scraps are treated in the books. So we will stop with this, and next class I will, if you have any doubt, please go through your study materials, illustrations. Try to solve all illustrations. You can send me in WhatsApp if any particular illustrations you are not able to understand, any problems you are struck up, particular point where you are struck up, you can ask me, I will explain you. Next class we should move on to labor. Hope you will practice this Sunday and Monday. Those 2 days you work on all the illustrations. Illustrations are very simple, but remember in your prime cost and overheads in your cost accountancy chapter, minimum 20 marks you will get from materials. You take it for granted. Up till now, whatever we have studied, minimum 20 marks you will get. So this is a very simple subject, mark fetching subject. Just read the concepts, and I hope everybody have understood the concept. Next class we will, if possible, do some problems from your doubt, and we'll move on to labor. Second element of cost is labor. We'll study labor. Okay. Till such time, take care. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.